Hello, everyone. Oh, the little one wants to say hello. Hello. Today we are coming on here just for a couple of book reviews. The kids are in school today, so that gives us a little bit of a quiet time. What is wrong with my hair? I have mom hair, throw it in a ponytail. You're ready to go. Okay, so first off, look what I got from the Dollarama. Isn't it cute? And the pages, sorry, I stuck a sticker sheet in here so I could put my reviews. So look, it's red. Isn't that cute? So it's just blank pages. It's a sketchbook, but I thought if I went ahead and wrote like the reviews and that, then that way I could just kind of look back and be like, okay, there it is, right? So I sent the daughter over to the Dollarama yesterday to go get stickers so I could have like the stars, so I could give it like 5 stars, whatever, and she comes back with this. So I have a couple of stars on there. I just have to choose which star, and then the kids could have the rest. That's okay. They like stickers. So first review I did, the Black Farm. I took a little while, probably the 3-4 days on it, because we had nothing but birthday parties. So here it is, The Black Farm by Eli's Withrow. I probably said it wrong, not on purpose, not being rude. Don't come at me because I'm bad at names. So I gave this one a 2 out of 5. Not because it was bad, it was not my taste. I wanted more descriptions, more action, more something better. And this kind of was like Groundhog Day for adults. Okay? So it was like the same thing. Like every day they would have to like wake up, and if you happen to die, then you'd get put back somewhere else on this little place. Okay, let's rewind. Okay, so the book. There's a guy and a girl, Nick and Jess. So they have a baby. She has a miscarriage. The baby dies. This book does have some warnings. I should get back to that first. Oops, I'm so mixed up. So the warnings on this could be graphic rape, suicide, grief, loss, death of a child, torture, and there's probably a bunch more in there. I just wrote some that I kind of remembered in the book. If I don't write it or tell you guys about it right away, then I got so much things going on with the kids and school and everything. I'm like, oh, I forget. Why does my face look dirty? This is my fake freckles, but why does it look like I was rolling around in the dirt? Maybe it's my 5 o'clock shadow coming back. I don't know. I got a shadow on my face, and in the camera it just looks dirty, but it's not dirty. Maybe just the shadows going on. Bad place to put a shadow. Makes my whole bottom half look dirty. Don't look. Okay, so they have miscarriage. They don't want to live no more. Well, she doesn't. And then Nick was like, hey, we could die together. They take a bunch of pills. I guess, in this point, they died. They want to kind of just die together and be happily ever after, right? Well, wrong. They go to purgatory instead of hell, and instead of heaven, because they didn't die naturally. They did it to themselves. So they go down there, and they have like kind of like pigs running the land down there. So they have watchers from up on the mountain that are making sure that the pigs are not doing too bad of things or too good of things, like, so that way the land is kind of even. So Nick encounters like this big beast bat guy, and he goes through the first torture of rape and all that. He goes after, tries to escape him. He goes trying to find Jess, like the entire time he wants to be with Jess. So he's looking for, they do a bunch of things and see a bunch of things, and there's like he goes into this building, and this big guy, I think he was like the pig guy, so he's like cutting pieces off of this girl while she's chained up in the corner, and he's cutting pieces off of her shoulder, and he's eating it, and he's like, you want to join our club and that? Oh, why don't you have a piece of this meat? It's very good. You love it. And he's like, no, that's not what I'm into. I'm not into eating people. So he's like, well, I once had sushi and I didn't like it at first, but then I got used to it. And then the guy's like, well, maybe it'll be the same. You'll get used to eating this. This is very good. And he's like, no, it's okay. So I think he did at the end have like a bite of the meat. So then that way he would fit in. So they would take him into this club. They have a club that they all are trying to breed the pigs, and there's only like 2 pigs out of how many that they've had that actually survived to like big pigs. The rest of them died during childbirth, or the mom gives birth to them and then she dies. The pig dies at birth. They're deformed. They're nasty creatures. The whole book is kind of so mixed up and scary. And so anyway, this after, oh, I have ADHD and my brain just went so he tries to join this club, so then that way he could go find where Jess is. He goes in there. He ends up killing the pig, killing like a couple different people just to get out of there. He finds Jess, and that was a little bit before he goes killing. And then after he goes running out, this was not my best book. It was like kind of basic, like a beginner story to look at. So it wasn't like extreme splatter, punk, gore, horror, any of that. So this would probably be a good book just to practice like your scary books and that, okay? So anyway, he takes Jess, he runs out. They go on a mission. They're trying to escape. Something happens. They both go down. They die again. They come back up. He's trying to find her again. But instead, he's like, I'm not going to go find her. I want to find her first after, like, I have a way to get out of here. And so then he climbs up the mountain to go find the Watchers. Now, the Watchers, there's a good one and a bad one, kind of like Angel and the Devil kind of thing up there. So then that way they have both of them. So when he goes up there, he's like, hey, that one can't touch me, or this one can't touch me. And so the guy had an idea, and he's like, well, in order to get Jess, I need something to work towards instead of keep getting her and dying and being back in this loophole again. So if I eat the good guy, then I can't be sent down to hell. I think that's what I'm going to do. So he eats the good guy, makes the bad guy watch Nick eat the good, like, angel guy, the Watcher. So he eats the Watcher, kills the bad guy. By the time he gets down from the mountain, there's a bunch of, like, kind of like drones or spaceships or something that you would see. So they're all over in the sky, and it's getting kind of dark and ugly. So anyway, he just continues going. He goes into this building to go find Jess, and the angel guy that met them in the very beginning, he's there. And Nick was like, hey, bring me my woman out. And so they go and get her. And he's like, what are you going to do? And so he kills a bunch of them anyway. And at the, like, almost at the end, he throws up in her mouth so she would get some of the good angel guy in her body. And then they go find the pig. They tried to get the pig to eat them, so then that way it could send them back to Earth. Or the other option is they send them down to hell. But because he ate the good angel guy, that he can't be sent down to hell, so his only option would be Earth. So they jump in his mouth. He starts chewing on them and that, and the pig starts trying to throw them back up. So Nick and Jess are like, hold on tight. So they try to get to the back of his throat, so then that way they would be able to go down in his stomach and go back to Earth. The pig goes through like 3 times trying to eat them, and then they finally push themselves down, and magically they wake back up in their house on the couch, kind of like it was like a big dream, right? And so they wake back up, and after he was like, hey, let's not try to commit suicide again. That was a bad idea. Look at all the hell we went through. So they have to go through nightmares, night terrors. They got pregnant, I think 5 months later, and it's with a son. They're happily ever after. And I'm like, so you committed suicide because of this problem, and then you came back, and it's like you just did it all over again, and now it's okay. I'm like, oh. So anyway, that was basically the end. That they got pregnant at the end, got out of purgatory, and they were back to Earth, happily ever after. I am so sorry. Oh, so yeah, for me it was like a beginner basic start of a horror collection book that you guys could read. But then my other one. This is Woom by Duncan Ralston. Here it is. It is a very thin book. I read it in one reading. So there is this guy. What was his name? Oh gosh, I forgot it. I just read it yesterday. Johnny. Oh, so Johnny. And, oh, I dropped it. So, Johnny, he has this whole big story. So, it starts off kind of like... Sorry, I dropped it. Okay, so this one starts off like that this guy is in a hotel room and he orders a big, beautiful woman. So, she's kind of like a hooker. So, he orders one. And they send her over, and he's like, well, just guys sit and talk for now. So she sits on the bed, and he's going through little stories. So he goes through a story of this guy and girl. They were dating. She got hooked to heroin. And then at the end, he comes home one day, and there's a drug dealer guy. And he's like, hey, she owes me like $6,000. Or maybe it's 60. Anyway, she owes him a bunch of money, and he's like, I want my money. So either you guys could pay it, or you guys could travel across Canada and carry my drugs with you, like drug mules. So he's like, there's stashers or stuffers and stashers, I think. So there's two different ones. One eats it, one puts it up. So any hole that you have to put the drugs in. And the one that you swallow as many as you can and get on your way. So anyway, they are trying, and she's like, I can't swallow things. I can't even swallow a pill. You have to do it. So he starts swallowing the balloons. Then all of a sudden his stomach starts growling and he has to sit on the toilet. This book has lots of warnings. So there is it's an extreme psychological horror. So there is a graphic violence, miscarriage, vomit, excrement, poop. There is grief, pregnancy, injury, abortion. There is cursing, death, domestic abuse, addiction, physical abuse. There's mental abuse. There's so many different things going on in this story. So watch out for those trigger warnings if you have. But anyway, let's get back onto it. So he's got upset stomach. He just downed a bunch of balloons, like 80, 90 balloons. And so his stomach's like, hey, get those out of me. So he sits on the toilet, explosive diarrhea. He's exploding, dropping those balloons out like crazy. So after he's like, get in here and help me dish these out of the toilet. And she's like, no, I can't go in there. So he's like, okay, I better take it and start putting them in the sink, washing them off. So he's digging in the toilet through diarrhea, and he's grabbing them, throwing them in the sink and that. And that was easy peasy. He washed them all off, and he's like, hey, you're helping me this time. So I swallowed a bunch of them. Take the rest of these so I don't do it again. And you could go ahead and stuff them up you. So he's like, any hole that you have, put them up. And she was like, okay. And he's like, so do you want me to help? And she's like, no. And I guess they're on bad terms. He's done with her and that. So she's like, let's get this done with. So she's pushing them all up her, and then she stands up and she's like, I don't feel good. My stomach hurts a little. And he's like, are you okay? And so she starts saying after it really, really hurted. And he's like, do you want me to call an ambulance or something? She's like, no, I'll be okay. And so something happened. She ended up laying on the bed and she's sick and that. And all of a sudden she's dead because a balloon must have popped up inside. She must have pushed too hard and her fingernail went through. So anyway, she's on the bed. He has to dish them back out. And he's like, I didn't go through all this for nothing. I'm going to finish what I came here to do. So she's dead. He has to pull those balloons back out of her. And then he starts washing them and swallowing them again. Takes off on the plane, drops them off, delivers them. He gets rid of those balloons, okay? So he pays off the debt. He got like extra 10,000 or something because she died. So he's got some money. And then the guy, Angel, or Johnny, so he's telling the hooker another story. So there's another story with his mom. So his mom was pregnant and she came to this hotel. I guess the very exact hotel that he's at right now. So everything kind of happened in this hotel. Like the two people that had drugs and that, they were in the same hotel, room 6 as well. And then his mom came here, room 6, and she, I guess, was pregnant. She was part of, like, she got raped, I guess. And she couldn't get an abortion. She was too late for that. And they wouldn't do nothing. They just said she had to have it. And then she could give it up for adoption. She didn't want that. She was like, hey, this was, like, not my doing. Like, I don't want a baby. I can't have a baby. So she goes into the hotel room, rents it for like 2 hours, and she goes in there, asks the guy at the desk first if there was coat hangers, and he's like, yeah, there's 2 metal ones and 1 plastic. And then she was like, okay, I need to rent the room for like 2 hours, and he didn't question her. He didn't say nothing like, in your condition, you're a big pregnant woman going in here for 2 hours, asking for coat hangers. What are you going to do? So anyway, she goes in there and she starts, sorry, it's not funny. But she starts dishing out like water, got herself a bath and the water is running. She's trying to get the coat hanger. She unties it, makes it like a claw or something, starts fishing up there for the baby. And she's trying to scrape it and pull, I guess. And she's got her leg up on the bathtub. She's prying, she's prodding. I guess the whole thing, like trying to get the baby out with like a coat hanger. Oh, I could just imagine the pain and what she's feeling. And oh my gosh. So that was horrible. My stomach hurt when I was reading that part. But so she thinks that she's got it. She's dripping, she's bleeding, and she's scraping. Something happens and she slips on the blood or something. She hits her head on the bathtub. The water is flowing. Her face goes into the little bath water. She ends up dying. But then like the baby survived. And then as he's telling this story, the hooker looks up at his face and he's got like a scratch, like a scar across the face. And I'm like, okay. So he's got a scar on his face. The baby she was trying to give the baby an abortion, but the baby made it. The mom did not. Like, what is happening? So then he goes on and tells her some more stories, and the hooker tells him a story about how she was bigger and she got made fun of. She got invited to a movie theater and the boy came with 2 other boys. They went out the back and they raped her with like a baseball bat and that. So her insides, that she had to go for surgery. So now she's got like a super huge vagina, I guess. So she's telling him this story and they go back and forth telling, like, she goes and tells him that story. So then he thinks like, oh, it's okay, I'm going to tell you this other story. Meanwhile, the whole time she's laying on the bed, he told her like that he's going to stretch her. So he said like about those piercings, you start off with a small thing to stretch your ears out, and then you start going bigger and bigger. So he's down there, started off with a small dildo. He's got, I think, like a big, huge black one or something. So he's been using that on her throughout the whole time that they're telling these stories. And then after he says, like, that his ex was in jail. And so the lady, the hooker, she's like, huh? So how is your ex in jail? Like, what happened that she's in jail? I thought you said that you had an ex and you guys were in love. And so he's like, oh, my ex. Yes, she is in jail. So he goes on to say, like, that they were at, like, a party or something together. They go to this hotel, room 6. They're there, and she was on his face, and something happened. He passed out. She used chloroform on him. So when he woke up, and by the way, his girlfriend did have, like, a little obsession with, like, a fake mannequin dummy thing. So she would get off with the dummy. Said it was the best thing ever. So anyway, when he woke back up, he was supposed to be passed out, and he's on chloroform. So too much of it could kill you. Too little of it, you'll wake back up throughout surgery. I think that was chloroform. Anyway, so he wakes back up, and she's like, not sawing, I think it's like sanding. She's trying to sand his crotch down, like, to make it smooth, like a Barbie and Ken. So she's trying to make him like a real life mannequin, and she's sawing him down with, like, the sander and that. So she's got his junk. And I guess it's not gonna make it the best for his man parts. Something happens. She gets hauled away. She's in jail, and that the doctors tell him that he'll have, like, the pee hole, so he's able to pee out, but he's gonna need to go for surgery and that, just so then that way, if he ever wants to have kids. And so when he's telling the hooker that she finds out that his parts are like that, she didn't want to look at his parts. He was like, hey, I want to show you. And she's like, no, I don't want to see what's going on. So I guess it's gory. I guess the thing does not look how a manhood should look. So after getting it sanded down, I guess not. So they skip that part, and it's kind of like, hey, after now that we've talked and I've been stretching you out this whole entire time, the time has come. Have you ever wanted to have a baby? And so the whole reason she told him about those boys raping her and her going for surgery, now she has an extra large vagina, that he was like, I'm going to give you your thing, so then that way you could feel like a woman and you could give birth. And she's like, what are you talking about? I can't give birth. Like, there's no way. And he's like, I'm going to let you give birth to me. And she's like, what? What's happening? Like, I've been through some of these weird guys. And she told him the stories of these guys wanting to be babies because she's a bigger woman. So she has to change their diaper. And one wants to suck on her. One wants her to sit on his face and smother him. So she's got a bunch of sick guys that she's had to see before. And so she's like, what kind of fetish is this? And he's like, you gotta give birth to me, and I'm gonna stick my head up there, and then you could push me out. And so she's like, no, that's not gonna happen. And he's like, yeah, it is. And so he gets a cloth, puts the chloroform on. I guess he knocks her out with that. She's knocked out. He's sticking his head up in her crotch. And so he gets up there. He's like up to here. And he's like, she's still going. He's pushing, and she's still sleeping. So he gets his face in there. Then he gets scared. And he's like, oh no. She woke up, and so she's tightening up around his face, and that, well, his face is up inside her vagina. So she has to push, and oh my goodness. So it was a whole big situation for her. So I don't want to really tell you the ending because You have to read the ending yourself to see what happens if she finishes giving birth to his head, or is she going to die? Is he going to die? Is he going to go to jail? Like, what is going to happen to this? But read this. Very fast read. It is like a one sitter down book. How many pages? I think 129 pages. So it's a very fast read, and I have lots of kids around, so that I'm always doing something with them, and I was able to sit down and read it. And you know, kids go to bed at night, you spend an hour, 2 hours reading it, and boom, done like that. But anyway, I give this one like probably a 3 out of 5, just because it kept me interacting with like the book. I was wanting more, wanting to see what else, what kind of other stories he has, or what is this all leading up to. Like, why do they keep saying like, yes, he's continuing stretching her, or he's doing this, and then he would get on with another story. The whole time I'm like, why is he stretching her? Like, is he a serial killer? Like, what is happening? And then after that, I'm like, what? So there is some stuff in this book. But anyway, 3 out of 5. Go ahead and read it and come back. We will do some more reviews, and hopefully this whole situation, brown dirt look to my face, does not look. Maybe it's tan from out being in the outside. I had sunglasses on. Maybe that's it. But I don't think I got a hairy mustache. Okay, see you guys later.